Hello everybody, and you're very welcome back to Cloughan Farm and Cookery School in association with Longford County Library Services. Today we're going to make delicious, yummy, scrummy, maggoty eyeballs. So these are going to be really special for Halloween evening or night for your dinner with the rest of your family. So in here I have some mince, beef mince, okay? Into that I'm going to add a chopped onion. I'm going to add in a little bit of crushed garlic, a clove of crushed garlic. I'm going to add in our breadcrumbs, that just gives it a little bit of conditioning. I'm going to add in our ground cumin and our dried oregano. That's just a little bit of spice and flavour. And also, just to give it a little bit of flavour, is a pinch or two of salt, some freshly ground black pepper, and then the final thing is our lightly beaten egg to bind it up. So in that all goes. And the next thing I'm going to do is, you can do it with your hands. Make sure your hands are washed, obviously, but make sure if you're going into the meat. So I just put on a glove. So I'm just going to bring it all together like that. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we've it all brought together like that. Don't overhandle it because you don't want the heat of your hand to cause any bacteria to build up in your meatballs. So what we're going to do now is we're going to weigh these. So we're going to roughly, each meatball is going to be about 40 grams in size. So what you do is, there we have 40 grams. We'll get about 17, I think, of these. So just give it a round like that. And that's your meatball done, okay? So we've a good sized pan heating up here. We want to get a good heat on it first, and then we're going to add in a little drizzle of some oil, okay? So our pan is nice and hot. So the next thing we're going to do, we're going to get our meatballs, and basically what we're going to do with these meatballs, these are like little mini burgers really. So what we're going to do with these meatballs is we're going to add them into the pan like this, and we're going to lightly seal them, okay? So just put them all along like that. Pause. The next thing while our meatballs are sealing off, we're going to start the base, our sauce, okay? So for the base of our sauce, again, another little bit of oil. And into that, we're going to add some diced onion, okay? And you hear nice sizzle. And we're just going to give that a little mix around, turn down our heat slightly. And onto that now, I'm going to place a lid. And by placing, so as you can see, the moisture is coming up there, and so that's why we put the lid on, to keep the moisture in there and to sweat off our onions. The next thing we're going to do here is we have a pan of water on heating up, okay? So this is for our spaghetti. So for that, we're going to colour our spaghetti. Now you could do black, you can do red, of course, you can do green, whatever. I'm going to do green here. So I'm just going to get a little bit of the paste and pop it into our water, just like that. Okay, and this is colour, it's tasteless. It doesn't harm you won't get any taste or anything like that off your spaghetti. So what we want to do then, we just give it a good whisk, just like that. And we will add in a pinch of salt, just so that you give your little bit of spaghetti a little bit of flavour. So that's our pot heating up there. So when that comes to a boil, we'll add in our spaghetti. Okay. So now our onions are nicely sweated off, and I have turned our meatballs there. You can see the nice seal on them, and that's very important so they don't fall apart. So that's the reason we put on the seal. So into that, we're going to add in a canned tomato, some crushed garlic, when you're using tomato, a pinch of sugar is lovely to bring out the flavour of your tomatoes. So a teaspoon or two of sugar, some tomato puree, that's the tube there you can get. So that's 1 and 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. And tomato puree is nice, it gives it a nice solid background flavour. I'm putting in here some chilli. Now, I say a half a teaspoon of chilli. If you don't like it too hot, do a quarter teaspoon. If you don't like it hot at all, leave it out, whatever you prefer. So I'm actually going to, some people love it lovely and hot. I'm just going to put in a little pinch like that because we'll be eating this here ourselves. So that's quarter or less of a teaspoon of chilli. In that goes. And then always your pinch of salt and a pinch of freshly ground black pepper. And we just have a little bit of vegetable stock in here going into it as well. Or you could use chicken stock or beef stock. It doesn't make any difference. So we bring that up to a nice boil, just like that. We give it all a stir. Okay, and once we get it, we let that simmer for about 5 minutes. And then into our spaghetti, or into our saucepan of hot water that we've coloured green, we're going to pop in our spaghetti. Just like that. And that'll cook according to the instructions, the packet instructions. So you can see they're green, so it'll take on that green colour. Okay. So now what we're going to test, our tomato base sauce has been simmering here for about 5 minutes. So I'm just going to test it for seasoning and also for sweetening. So I think I'm just going to add in another little pinch of sugar in there, just to bring out, as I said, the flavour of the meatballs or the tomato. So we just give it a stir, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to transfer our meatballs into our tomato. So we just turn that down for a second or turn it off. So just be careful. I'm just using the fish slice, or actually, just if you might need an adult helping you here. So I just get my hand. So if you can get the first few in with your hand, and then you're able to get in your fish slice like that. So now, these are the last of our meatballs. So they fit nice and snugly in there. And what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of just make sure that they're nicely are down as far as they can. So they'll cook away there basically for the next 10 minutes. It doesn't take too long now to cook them because they're only tiny little bits of beef. So they're probably pretty much well cooked there in the pan altogether. So what we're doing now is we're just marrying the two flavours of the beef, of our meatballs and the sauce, and we're just going to infuse the flavours of one another. So that's what that's going to allow there. I'm going to turn that down now and allow that to simmer. So we'll just have a quick look now at our spaghetti. See that nice green colour there? Very nice. So that'll take another few minutes. It smells delicious, absolutely delicious. So if you want to come in here just a little bit, Michael, our sauce is nicely thickened, you see that? They have got to know each other, like as in the meatballs and the sauce. So that's exactly the consistency we're looking for. So into that now, I'm just going to have a little bit of fresh coriander. Just grab it like that in your hand, like a ball, and just roughly, a rough chop, that's all we want. Okay, and turn it around and just go roughly the other way, and that's it. Okay, so we just take a handful of that in there. Now you could use parsley if you wish, and we just kind of get that to mix in with our sauce. We're just going to turn off our heat there now, just roughly to mix in with our sauce. Oh, that's delicious. And the coriander at the end, or even parsley, anything like that, is absolutely gorgeous. So you see the way they're quite little, rigid little lads now when they're sealed off in the pan first. That's what just gives them the firmness, that they don't break up on you. So now we're going to get our meatballs up here. Here's our spaghetti, we've it strained off. And when I strained it off, I just added in a couple of tablespoons of oil, rapeseed oil, olive oil in there, just to stop it from sticking. Okay. And we have a spoon, so we don't need, we'll just put that to one side actually. So now, just get your spaghetti. So as I said, you know what you could actually do, boys and girls, is you could divide your spaghetti into 3 different saucepans, and you could put red spaghetti, blue spaghetti, black spaghetti, green spaghetti. As long as you do the wash up, as long as you wash up all them saucepans afterwards, that's okay. So you could have just a multicoloured. So, in we go. So these are all your wiggly worms. You've never seen wiggly worms looking that nice before. and they are delicious, okay? And then into your center, just pop in your eyeballs or your on top of your wiggly worms. Doesn't that look lovely, Michael?
Does indeed.
Lovely. Oh, it looks so lovely. And really delicious ingredients there. And they're all just so store-cupboard ingredients. So we'll just get a few more. Okay. Lovely hearty dish. And then sometimes what I like to do, just push that guy back. What you could do, if you want, just get a little bit of tomato sauce, give it a shake, and you can just squirt like it's the blood on top. So, girls and boys, that is my maggoty meatballs. I hope you all enjoyed them. I hope you have a very happy and fun Halloween night. I know you can't get to trick or treat this year, but everybody is thinking about you and everybody is with you on the night. So stay safe, everybody. Enjoy it with your families, and you won't find till you're back out and doing what you always used to do. So take care, everybody. Stay safe.